Welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe, and today's video is going to be responding to the reach out. What to do and what to say when the dumper does reach out after a period of no contact. But before we do that, go down below, hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, you can comment on this video or if you have any questions about any other topics you'd like to hear discussed, please leave it in the comments and I'll address it personally. Also, something I've been neglecting is to share. To share this, use this. This is valuable information. And if you're seeing it, chances are there's somebody else who needs it too. And so with that, we'll get started. And let me say, I've been a little under the weather, so you may hear me clearing my throat. I may be a little congested sounding. But it's all good. Just giving you a heads up. So let's dive in to the topic, which is the reach out, basically. And this is after you've been in no contact for a little while, which for those who are new to this and haven't seen it, the no contact is a healthy approach to recovering from a breakup. And it basically means that you as the person who were broken up with, or even if you were a dumper and was the one doing the breaking up, decided you made a mistake and you reached back out to the dumpee, the person who was broken up with, and they decided they didn't want to talk to you, you would then go into what is referred to as no contact, which is you're not contacting this person at all. And in my last video, misconceptions does not mean you don't respond. It means you do not contact, you do not initiate. And my belief is if that person has made that decision, unilaterally decided to remove you from their life, then it has to be their decision to invite you or themselves back into it. And, at some point, typically, my experience has been, a large majority of the times, that does happen to some degree where they reach out and test the waters and see again. I've been on both ends of this. I've been the dumper, I've been the dumpee. I've coached many, many dumpies. I say coached. I'm not a coach in the sense where, like, this is gonna be like a team effort, and if you go to messing up, we get I eat part of the shit, and if you win, I get part of the victory. That's not. So I'm not a coach in that respect. So I just want to make it clear in the respect of maybe a guide, somebody who's blazed this trail ahead of you that has done this and, can warn you of the obstacles and pitfalls and whatnot of no contact and breakups and how to do it the right way, because I've done it the wrong way. And I've coached many people to success through their breakups using no contact. And anyway, I use the term coach loosely. So anyhow, the effectively using no contact, at some point eventually, my belief is you hear from these people, and it's usually in the form of an indirect. I know in the past, if I was the dumper and some time had gone by and I went through all the phases and maybe realized that I was too quick to judge, or if I'd experienced a touch of the grass is greener syndrome, or just overreacted. It's a number of things sometimes that, we look back on, and I would reach out. I can't think of many times, maybe once or twice, it was a straight up, hey, can we talk? I made a mistake. I'd like to revisit things, something along those lines, very direct, to the point of why I wanted to talk. And as with myself, being in the other position of the person being broken up with, and a ton of my clients that are dumpies more than not, or the dumpies, not the dumpers, is an indirect approach. Rarely is it. I think I've had one time, once, twice, where it was just a point blank, I miss you. It's out of the blue, just like that. Other times it was, hey, how are you? Hey, once it was, what is the name of that place we ate that time? And, we got all those compliments on our match. What is the name of that place? Oh, I just get a link to a song. I just heard the song about you, made me think about you. You remember when we first heard that? Stuff like that. I left stuff at your place. It's very indirect, and it's typically like that, an indirect direct approach, coined by Craig Kenneth, the dating coach, excellent coach, top notch guy. One of the few out there that really do give a shit, not just trying to scalp you. He's high, but he's worth the money in my opinion. So, and it's usually going to come like that. And the reason is this person has been through, even though they did the breaking up, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for them to do that. But it obviously had reached a point where they made that decision based on the amount of, the pros and cons, and obviously there was a lot more negativity than it was, good, sustainable, positive experience and interactions in this relationship. So, inevitably it leads to a breakup. You grow apart, the connection becomes dull and non-existent. The associations with you, the emotional and mental associations, become one of a negative experience. And so that, which in turn causes a drop in attraction. Once the attraction is dropped below a certain point, the breakup is inevitable. And you'll start noticing the attraction drops, and we'll go over that in another video, the signs of attraction dropping a little bit over time. Rarely does it happen overnight. It's a slow, grueling process, like death by 1,000 cuts. A lot of people see it, a lot of people just deny it, but it's there, and you know it. And when you look back, you can line up, you can always connect the dots looking backwards, right? So, anyhow, the day comes, you break up. But you go into no contact, you give the dumper, or if you're the dumper, going back to the dumpy, trying to see if you can work things out, or what have you, or revisit things. And they say no. When you enter that no contact period, that is, it's like the magic window, where it's a span of time where they get to go process, you get to go work and process. And look, I'm going to tell you the truth that sometimes after you've been out and no contact and they've been apart, they've been away, and in the beginning of the breakup for a dumpy is just devastating. There's no other way to put it. You may have felt disconnected and had a sense that things weren't right, but it doesn't make it easy when they drop the hammer. And, the initial, I'm not interested in working in this relationship anymore, or I don't want to be together, whatever the pitch is, you know what I mean, is devastating. It hurts like hell. And everything goes with it. Your self-worth, your self-esteem. You start questioning everything about yourself. Why wasn't I good enough with this person? And then especially if they go jump into a rebound, and you're like, oh my God. It's, you see them with another person, and it's like, Jesus, is that am I less than this person? Good Lord. How humiliating. And think you've just been rejected. Rejection is arguably one of the most painful things you can go through as a human being. Being rejected from somebody you love. That's a painful experience. And part of what no contact does for the dumpy is it allows you to rebuild and reinvent yourself, reestablish your self-esteem, your self-worth, your value to you, and being able to be back in a position where you're the one validating yourself. So, and through that time, and if you're doing the right things, and I'm not saying use no contact to spy on the other person, to try to manipulate, to get them back, sulk, tell everybody about your breakup and how bad you hurt. Like there's just little chunks where you get to do that shit, not spy and all that. I'm not saying that at all. You should never do that. Never. There's going to be a period of time when you're going to need to talk about it ad nauseum to your friends. And that's just why I always suggest some kind of therapy and counseling, because you're going to wear that shit thin quick. Trust me. Been on both ends of that too. And as the receiver of the breakup, of hearing about it, yes, it gets very old very quick. Don't mean to be dicks. It's just the way it is. So I'm sure a lot of us have had to go both ways with that. Then, if you having taken the steps you're supposed to take in no contact, self-work, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, if you're doing all these things, you're picking up hobbies and interests, you're eventually getting back out there, meeting new people, and I'm not just talking about dating, even though that is one aspect, but going back out there and being social and meeting people, going to exercise your social skills and regaining some social acuity and going to get some, what they call it, I don't know, learning how to go be social. Shit. Then you've done this, you're working with a therapist, because it's always good to have a professional sounding board. Not a friend who's biased, not a family member who's biased, because let's face it, these aren't the people you should be taking advice from anyway. Trust me. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about anyway. At least with a therapist, you get to go process these things. And some of the things that needed to be looked at and worked on in the relationship that you weren't seeing and understanding, this other person could have been telling you, like, hey, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, pay attention. And you just weren't picking it up. You wasn't hearing it. Couldn't understand it, or were not understanding it, whatever the case may be. So, fast forward, you've done this work like you're supposed to have done, not just sitting around, sulking, feeling sorry for yourself, waiting, getting fatter, lazier, and softer, but getting bigger, faster, stronger. Learn how to meditate, picking up meditation, healing some of those wounds, working on some of these defects and limitations, clearing up these limiting beliefs you have about yourself, putting yourself in a healthy position to be able to give and receive love and be in a relationship like you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to be doing in your time apart. Chances are the dumper who dumped you is not doing that. Just the way it is. They're already on a high horse. They're on a pedestal. They've pedestalized themselves, most likely because you pedestalized them. And you notice when I talk a lot and I say you, I'm not pointing back to me. Because it's something I've done inadvertently, but it happens. And you're out doing this work. So there's a chance when this dumper reaches back out, you may not even be interested in hearing what they have to say. You may be at a neutral point at that place. Like, hey, I'm glad you reached out, but kind of moved on. I've kind of outgrown us. Like, that was me then. This is me now. You don't fit there anymore. It's not a bad thing. It just is. And the way I see it is, when that person makes that decision to remove you from their lives, that's a risk they're taking. That's a chance they're taking that they may not get you back. And I know I would hate to be in a position where they're glad, looking back, coming back months later, and be like, "Phew, I'm glad I didn't take him back." That they've reaffirmed the decision as to why they broke it off with you, or me, whoever. But there's a chance that they come back and they do the reach out, and you're not ready. Like, you've moved on. You don't want it. And anyway, I don't want to shift the focus. I know I'm going way off topic here. So at some point, my belief is a large majority of the time, and there's no 100%, there's no guarantee that this will happen, that they reach out in some form or fashion to test the waters, to see what they start having that FOMO, and they want to see what's going on, how you been, what are you doing, because you've had a connection with this person. They still care. They genuinely care. And all that negativity I was alluding to earlier about the large majority of the experiences being negative, over time, that negative subsides. The positive emotion and memories and nostalgia comes back up to the surface, and they start remembering that version of you. That's typically when you're going to get a ping. Typically when you're going to hear from them. It's usually the oddest point when you start doing really well. You hear from them again. It's like clockwork every time. And again, it's usually along the lines of, hey, you forgot something here. Hey, did I forget something there? Where was that place we went? Oh, hey, you remember the song? It's always some indirect, sideways, some angle. Because they don't know where you are. So up to this point, you haven't contacted these people. And they have no idea what's going on with you. Maybe if you're still linked on social media, they can look and see. But another thing I advise in the very beginning is that you're not really doing much on social media at all, because you're prone to putting that mushy shit that makes you look ridiculous, that if you look back in 2-3 months, you'd feel foolish for putting up anyway. But to wait a while, and then when you do start posting, you're posting fun, upbeat, positive things that you're experiencing in your life. And that's it. But you still could have that link. But other than that, these people don't know where you are and what you're doing. They don't know if you've gotten over them. They don't know if you're angry with them. They don't know if you're home 20 pounds fatter in your underwear, not leaving. They don't know if you started seeing somebody. They just don't know. They don't know if they're going to get rejected. And it's not easy for them. Like, they don't want to come right out and say, hey, I miss you. I've been thinking about everything. You're like, nah, fuck off. Oh, okay. That's not what they want. So they, just dip their toe in the water just to see. And at that point, if you are interested and you have done the work that I suggest you do in no contact, maybe you're ready for a conversation. And then depending on what happens, depending on what has happened, rather. You just changing fundamentally as a person, losing ambition. This person was trying to tell you, like, hey, look, this is becoming unattractive. You're falling apart. You're kind of losing your edge. Da-da-da. And you didn't listen. Over time, things got worse and worse. And you realize that. You wouldn't put the work in. You wouldn't put the time and the work and effort in to recognize the error of your ways. And were able to mitigate, correct, and improve. Or did you fall in a bad time and that person just completely discard you? and you didn't want the relationship to end and they did anyway and decided to go put the work in with somebody else, in that case, I would say, why bother? Move on. But to each his own. To each his own. They got a lot of people out there that say X is an X for a reason. I believe in accountability. Look at my role. Look at my part. What did I play in that? What did I do to promote the breakup? What was my part in the breakup? Why did this person arrive to a point where they loved, adored me, were enamored with me to the point where they could care less? They just want him out of their lives. I had to have done something in there within that. And that's the most important part, is me recognizing my mistakes, cleaning up my side of the street. So that's my suggestion. And at that point, if they do reach out, or when they do reach out, and you've done the work, you calm, you cool, you collected, and you can give an answer. No, your sweater's not here. But hey, how are you? It's been a while. How are you? Long time no see. Might have an exchange. And at that point, it's up to you to set the date. First thing you got to do is let them know, A, I'm not bitter, I'm not butthurt. And this is if you are, if you're interested. If you are interested. If not, just tell them, no, your sweater's not here. Just don't contact me again and block them or something. I don't know. Personally, I don't do that, but unless it was a very, it was really fucked up if they cheated on you or something. I don't think I've ever been cheated on. Yeah. With the where it's just like, no, I have nothing to say to you at all. But in the event that you're open to, reconnecting, it's simple. Keep it light. Let them know, hey, you good? I'm good. I'm here. Not mad at you. I know your sweater's not here, but I ain't mad at you. I'd love to see you. When are you free? Let's get together. Let's catch up. Something like that. Initiate. You set the date. And then take it from there, and then take it slow from there. It's going to be just like starting over again. You're not jumping right back where you picked up where you left off. You're not jumping back into the same relationship. This is a new dynamic. You're a new person. You're a new man now. You're not that same person. This is not the same relationship, and neither are they. Furthermore, coming back in fresh, they are going to be looking to see, did you in fact change? And is it sustainable? Is it consistent? Is there any consistency there? Or you just taking the necessary steps in the beginning to get them comfortable and get them a little closer? It's going to be all these, it's going to be a little bit of confusion and anticipation and anxiety, and this, attraction's going to be peaking a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit of an experience of both of you. But by them reaching out is telling you, you should always assume they're reaching out to you is like, hey, I want to see you. Hey, I'm interested. But then it's up to you to make the first move after that, to initiate the meetup. And I suggest you do. Then, when you initiate the meetup, it's fun, it's light, it's easy. You're laughing, joking, playing, touching, giggling. Read the mood, read the body language, sexualize it a little bit if you can. Make it fun, make it easy. Because if they're reaching back out to you, they're remembering the good things about you that they like so much, the things they enjoyed, the things that attracted them to you. And they want to see that on display again. They want to see if you still got that, or was that just a thing? Because they checking themselves too. It's like, am I just feeling this because I miss them? Because it's been a while, am I being nostalgic, or was that person really that? And we got a little bogged down in some, daily grind bullshit, and they had a bad time. It's back to square one. You're dating. You're seeing each other. That's that. And slowly you progress and slowly rebuild and reestablish that connection. And that you don't want to rush and jump back in assuming, get it out of your head that you're back in a relationship, that's your girlfriend again. That'll get you out of there so quickly. So quick. If she senses one hint of you assuming and trying to lock it down as a boyfriend-girlfriend thing again, immediately. That's a display of low value and neediness. You don't need to be doing that anyway. Because you should have concerns too. Because this person decided to leave you with the keeping in mind that you had a part in it, but still. You got to have some standards and some fucking boundaries too. Or there will be no respect. And with no respect, there's no love and attraction. What's the fucking point of being somebody if they're not attracted to you and no potential of love and romance, right? Then you're just a fucking buddy. So anyway, and that's it. That's kind of the basics of the reach out. And we can get more in depth to do a video on moving forward deeper and deeper in the stages of because essentially right here, you in the, like you reestablishing communication, the communication phase, moving into the reconnection phase, the refamiliarization phase. And but that's just the beginning. That's the reach out, and that's the response. Light, fun, happy, positive vibes, good vibes. Do not mention the breakup. Do not ask why, where you've been, who you've been with, what was this, what was that, nothing. It's all in the moment. You're here now. You're back there at square one again. Be in square one. Enjoy square one. Make it the best square one that's ever been. That you're square now. Own that shit. Forget about the past because that's over. Don't worry about the future because it hasn't happened. The only thing you got is square one in the present, right there. Make it fun. Make it interesting. Make it to where she wants to be in the square again. And so I can help you with your breakup or relationship issues. Let me help you solve your relationship and breakup problems. Book a one-on-one consultation with me. I will put the details in the description below on how you can get in touch with me and book a consultation. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share. I'm going to squeeze that in a little smooth as the videos go, but share this. I know there's people out there that need to hear this, and you know that too. So that's it. Thank y'all. See you on the next one.